Welcome to Voting Arena this day. And I have some very angelic guests in the studio today and an angelic co-hosts. All of them looking very white. Even myself, I'm not exempted from it.
Your wife, guys,
Come on, you didn't have to say that. All right. So I have my guests. Sorry.
Mr. Ishaya.
Mr. Yakubu Ishaya, an administrative analyst and also a politician. Yeah. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I have my unfriendly friend that I can defriend anytime, Kingsley Okalfo.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Nigerian politics, that's where I'm going to start from with you. It's been, since we came back into this republic, it's been here and there. 16 years PDP, 10 years gone now. APC. Well, during the PDP, we saw the statistics. The economy did better from Obasanjo to Yaradua, then to Jonathan. But since the APC came into power, it looks as if after 10 years, they're still trying to find their rhythm. The economy is in shambles. Security is not doing good at all. It has never been this all-time low. And the social life of Nigerians is taking a different turn. I mean, a lot of things have passed under. Give me your assessment from 1999 till now.
Well, thank you very much. I think very clearly that, you know, when you are going to take power, you must have prepared yourself. Just like what happened with Obasanjo when he came in. You know, he was a former head of state.
Yes.
I'm sure you have seen it all. During the military era when he was the former head of state, and he had been in the administration of Murtala and Padwagon. And I'm sure also from that time he has mentored himself to see how it's going on and how to be able to, you know, to lead people if he has the opportunity. Of course, at his first tenure, most likely that was the first shot of it, and then he must have done little of his best. When he's out of government, because in governance, when you're in government, it's easier to talk more outside.
Yeah.
You can analyze that, I'll do this, when they give you this. But when you're there, you begin to see the way things, become very hot. When the Obasanjo said that Villa is a glorified prison, because you are completely caged. You know, you can't move here, they will tell you, go this. When you go right, they will say, go left, you go left, you go right. But sometimes you have to be focused. If I have that's why I sometimes, even though what Asiwaju is doing, I don't like them, but he has consistently remained focused on that issue of subsidy. I'm not going to remove it. I'm not going to change my mind. Ordinarily, if there's a kind of pressure you receive from people, you would have said, yes, okay, I'll go back and change it. But let's see how it goes. However, he went that way, and people are crying about it. Now, when Obasanjo came in, as a former head of state, he must have learned his mistake and decided to improve on them when he became the president, now elected president. Even though he didn't find it funny, because he is now coming to civil rule. During the military regime, when he talk, you go after you or he insult you. But now, you can't talk to any. They will give you. I remember when Obasanjo, Ojukwu engaged him that day. He said, well, thank God that is this civil rule. Ordinarily, you can't come and talk to me. And there was one old man, Alakpade. He was a candidate too. He said he should resign. But he was able to manage the economy because he has seen it the way it is, and he had a good professional hand that had advised him. Look, this is the way you go. And the economy was quite better. The dollar was quite good. Even though it was a bit, that military distance was on his him, and he was quite good. He managed it to a certain level. When he left it and gave it to Yaradua too was quite fantastic. But unfortunately, because of ill health, he couldn't go further. Jonathan tried. But the most unfortunate part of Jonathan is that he was not too strong in terms of taking decision, and the opposition put more pressure on him. They make sure they just messed him up, destroy him, make sure he's a bad person. And then he felt, look, I think I cannot withstand this kind of heat, and that's why maybe he decided to say run away. But he had one of the best economic things, and they did well. Yeah. The dollar was quite stable, 140, stable. 160. It was quite stable. We are buying rice at 7,000 naira. No matter how poor you are at that time, be able to afford a mudu of rice. it's less than 1,000 naira. But now, if you look at it, it's not easy. So now, when APC came with propaganda and all sorts of disorganized kind of languages, they disorganized them, and then most of the people that were in Jonathan government, when they found out that there were interests within the North, decided to move here, there, and there, one step forward, one step backward, and at the end they messed him up. He left the government. Now this people took over. They were not prepared. And in all fairness, they said Mr. Truth, Buhari, he's quiet. They felt he was going to fight, stem the tide, and begin to fight and bring a kind of good solution. But unfortunately, you look at how it ended up. When he was leaving, he said we are going to miss him. And I laugh, I say, God forbid. But today, if he asks me again, I will say, what is it? We are really missing him.
But that I Rodney.
It's my style.
I never believed you would ever.
I never believe we will miss him.
He said you will miss me, and I said, no, okay, God forbid, making Wakami carry. Now, honestly speaking, if you ask me, we're missing him. Because at least it wasn't that as bad. How much you are going to fill your tank now? It's not less than 70,000.
Yes.
And it takes about 47,000. It takes about 3 or 4 maybe a whole 1 week. How much is your salary?
It doesn't get to 1 week.
Now, if I'm going to buy fuel with my driver, I feel for him.
Yeah.
How much do I pay him?
Yeah.
If I'm filling the tank, how much do I pay him? And so those are the things that you look at it.
Exactly.
So, but the good thing about Nigeria is that they will always survive, no matter how hard it is. God has really made us to be, when COVID came, we said we were going to finish. Unfortunately, we stood it. Some of us, I mean, it's not different from that pneumonia that we had before that came in. And most of us, God help us, we didn't die the way it happened abroad. And we thank God here we are today.
Okay, let me pitch you somewhere around Jonathan era. We had a politics of ethnicity.
Sure.
After Jonathan left, I'm coming back to Jonathan. After Jonathan left, we got Buhari. Am I correct?
Yeah, sure.
Now, there were limitation in those that criticize his government because he's from a popular ethnic region.
That's Buhari.
That's Buhari.
Yeah.
That's Hausa Fulani. Now, we now have Tinubu. Now, it looks as if the Yoruba people are majorly, not entirely, but majorly quiet because you and I know that the Yoruba people controls the media,
Sure.
some part of the banking, and some
Even the church.
Exactly. Now, I didn't know you were going to say that. All right. Now, you see a lot of people are quiet in so many things that are happening. Even our Nobel laureates is quite quiet, and all that. Now, do you think these policies of ethnicity that took Jonathan out, we're still going to see it?
Well, I could see some kind of a parade going on, some alignment and realignment going on. Coalition is coming and the rest. But the good thing about the Jonathan and Siwaju are quite, in terms of politics, they are quite different, because Siwaju has been in the trenches and you know how to maneuver. Most likely, hopefully, Jonathan was not. He came in by providence.
Yes.
And most likely, he was quite civil. He's not a difficult person. Most likely, those that work with him, close to him, he was not too difficult. But some of the people that work under him were rather misled him. That politics of ethnicity, I don't think they will stop in Nigeria. Now, even though if you look at critically within the North, there are Hausa, there are Fulanis, and dominantly all this while, those who have been in power are the Fulanis. If you look at more, quite often the Hausas are complaining today, they're marginalized. If you go to the North again, you go to where I come from. I'm from the Northwest, from the southern part of Kaduna. We are always marginalized too. The whole 8 years of Buhari, he did not give us one appointment, one. Very basic. At least the only appointment I could know was the chairman of a maritime instant. Was the former chief of naval staff of blessed memory. Apart from that, nothing. Nothing. Now, I don't know why should I blame him or I should blame the governor. Because the governor has his own complete kind of a Berlin wall between him and the southern part of Kaduna. In terms of ethnicity, and some of us were disappointed because I expected that when he's coming, he would have been much better than that. But however, he decided to do it. So the ethnicity, definitely will play. Because now, if you look at the last this thing we had, was it this last protest we had, was it good governance?
Good governance.
Hunger protest. You find out that the Yoruba people didn't participate more. The Southeast that we're expected to.
And bad governance.
Do bad. Because they say they are always the target. When it comes, they'll be the one that suffer it.
Exactly.
So, most likely there's going to be realignment between the South and the North. But it all depends on who. If other political parties, because everybody is not happy with the economic policies of Asiwaju. Many people, and I'm sure even within the Southeast, the Southwest. Like if you look at, if a regular view of what's the name of this Arise, you find out Rufai and Abati, they are always they're very loggerheads. You know, Abati have supported now. The way I'm saying it, but Rufai is always very blunt. He will tell you he has empirical fact. He will tell you empirical fact and this. But I sometimes when it becomes so close to that time, most likely they will decide, look, this is our own. No matter how it is, you cannot throw your own out. Like the other someone said, our own, namu. Yeah. And that's how it works. Most likely the Yoruba people will say, look, this is our own. And if there's a mistake from other parties, most likely, but if they bring somebody from the South, it's going to be tight. It's going to be very, very tough because you know fully well that North will definitely about 80 or 70% will go to the other party. Most likely, if they are part of those who brought the person. And then it all depends on where it's coming from. The South will be divided. If for any reason they decide to have more from the Southwest, if you look at the voting power and the other distance, they've gone for the northern people to have a very block in terms of voting power and voting nomenclature. If you look at Borno alone, you find out the kind of vote that will come out from it will surpass that of Enugu State quite far. If you look at Bauchi, it will be better than that option and the rest, and Ekiti. But I don't know if there's a lot because it was fully orchestrated by the northern people, most likely. When they brought as at last 2019, when they wanted to do a review of the voters listing again, then they bought this to make registration for INEC. They gave us only one voting list in the whole local government. And now all of us have to troop. We have, like Zango, where I came from, it's a very large local government. We have to come to some point.
Wow.
So it becomes so difficult for people to do
one polling booth.
Just one. They give us one registration.
Okay. The beavers and
yes.
Yeah.
So we're coming there. We leave all the way from our communities to go there. Now people say, no, this is nonsense. I can't go and do that. They left it, and that's why we don't have enough. When it comes in terms of voting strength, they give them about in their own. Most of the street of local government, they give them this thing.
In fact, what you just said now,
more than 5 in each local government. So at the end, how do you survive it? You can't make any.
What you just said now, President Jonathan said in his last interview with a particular lady, he said most of the southern part or places they don't want vote for, there's always a disenfranchisement of the people. That he went to his polling booth, himself, the wife, and the mother. The beavers couldn't read their cards. And he was participating in the same election. And every other place. Meanwhile, in the other northern part, votes were going in and
they out. They don't even use the beavers. They don't use the beavers.
They just count.
They don't use the beavers. Do you know the fun thing about these beavers that you don't know? Some of you may don't even know. You can use one card, one voter's card, and then lock in for about 10 or 15 days. It will answer. I saw it, they did it, saw it. And nothing happened. So I think my advice again, we should be more sincere in what we do. Because technology is human. It's human made that operates it. By the time you're able to do it, you become strict in one part of the side, and then here you leave it open to everybody. We won't know what is going on. And you find out votes just come out anywhere. Plenty of votes will come out. And at the end it becomes a problem. All right. Then they always be ahead of everybody.
So let me take you to this. Coming out from the north, we've heard the word bandits.
Bandits, yes.
I've heard the word kidnappers. I've heard the word Boko Haram. I've heard the word herdsmen, or instead of Fulani herdsmen, the way they normally call them. All this, plus other petty thieves that come from unemployment, that come from entrenched poverty. What is all these people? Are they the same set of people, or they are different? How do we solve them? How do we identify this? Are they all operating in all the states? Or Boko Haram is in one area, Fulani herdsmen are in one area, bandits are in one area, particularly that of bandits and Fulani herdsmen, the way they call it. What is the relation? Are they the same people?
Well, I think they are not the same, but they carry the same kind of killing. Killing is killing. Now, you see the problem that happened during Jonathan's regime, based on what we heard, that some of them went and bring up some mercenaries from outside the country, so that to make life very unbearable for Jonathan and make sure that he becomes this thing. And when they brought them, if during the election we find out that we cannot win the election, we make trouble. And people were killed. What I know, when I was growing up from the north, we had a united northern. When we grew up from Kaduna, that time we heard about Kaduna, you find out that there's no difference between Christians and Muslims. We're always in one house. We do everything together. During Christmas, you see them coming to our houses. Sometimes our parents will travel and then take you and go and keep you in a Muslim house. You stay there. There's nothing like this. But subsequently, these religion riots begin to emerge. And that is where we had it rough in that northern. That was what we knew when I was coming, when we were growing up. Even in the ABU, when you were there, some of them that went to ABU, at that time that when they have crisis, material crisis and the rest. And at the end, it became very, very unsafe for, if a Christian, you were there, it was difficult for some people. Some people have to relocate. Now, what happened in the riots and the post-riot, people were being killed for no reason. If there's any uproar between the distance, they will just go after you. Most of the pastors were killed, and at the end again, there's a reprisal from the Christian part again. They will kill people on that just to revenge on what happened to them. So that is what started up in issue. Now, during the Obasanjo regime, those things were not there. But it was just those kind of religion crises that happened. And I thank God for our governor from Kaduna, who was Ahmed Makarfi. He dealt with that decisively.
At the time?
Yeah, at that time.
Yeah.
He was able to...
They were calling him Pastor John.
Yeah, he did a very good job. And honestly speaking, because the flashpoint where there are those crises, when the anything starts, he put a detachment of armed forces there. And at the end, honestly, after he left government, this thing was completely subsided. Now, what happened again was 2011. When there was post-election with Jonathan, after he won, and then they went to crisis. It was very drastic. Many people were killed on both sides, and that is why you find out that where you go again from the southern part again, there are some things that you see a lot of this. Now, when this thing came, and then there was a revenge. When they came, I remember I said that it was when they killed the Southern Carolina because they paid back what they did during that. And for me, I feel that was very responsible. As a leader, it was not supposed. At least when there are issues like that, the essence of being either a governor or you must take responsibility
for everybody.
If there's crisis, of course. Even though within the Southern Carolina, they're not devils. When you go and see them and they go say, McCarthy was able to win the heart very well because if you neglect somebody, you won't get the best from him. But by the time I meet him, we talk and this look, this is not right. Let's live as brothers. Like today, as I'm telling you, Kaduna, there's a Berlin Wall between the South belong to Muslim and the North belong to Christians. There's an influence of people. If you go to Tudun and the rest, most are.
You hardly find a Christian there.
Hardly put the church there.
Rigasa.
Yeah. But if you come back again here, the other side, are Christians, predominantly Christians. So, which is not good. It has divided it completely towards a religion. And then after we finish that one again, then this banditry came. When Jonathan came emerged at that time, they said they were going to make him. Remember the support that said when Jonathan won that 2011, and they said President Buhari said he's going to make life unbearable for him. And of course, he didn't find it easy for him towards that. They brought this banditry people again. Massacre genocide began to start. Now you can't come and stay in my area, in my community, and say we want to take the whole title of my district. It's not possible. And those are the things that make this. Now the banditry came in. I think for me, it's political. They wanted to get more weed. They wanted to get this and then bring people. And then people have been. And now today it has gone off hand. I don't think they will control it because, in more sincerity, maybe the armed forces, the police, are overwhelmed.
But the people are suffering.
People are suffering.
Farmers can't go to farms.
Yeah. And it's on both sides. Both the Christian and the Muslim. If you go to Zamfara, it's held. Now, as at last year or year before last, you can't go to Burning Well. But thank God for the governor, the present governor of Kaduna. At least he has put a lot of security.
Burning Well is primarily dominated by Muslims.
Yes, Muslims.
And you have that level of insecurity. Why?
Sure. Well, it's because I don't know. That's why I say it's still political. In terms of some people, whether they wanted, I don't know. And that's why I said they would have started from here and then they moved to the bandits came and they refused to go back to where they come from. You must feed them. That's why people don't understand. When you want to employ thugs for election, after the election, what happens? Would you be able to sustain them? Would you be able to keep them? Otherwise, they go back and do what they do. The banditry is that they will go and enter and invade the whole community and finish them. This is what happened in Benue State. At the night, harmless people, they will go and kill them and finish them. Now, the UNICEF is not there. And when I spoke, the one that happened in Plateau, the chief of army staff said, is mere, I don't know, they say what he said.
Farmers' herders clashes.
And let them sit down as a community people. They sit down and address
it. You do not think that these are herders who are looking for a vegetation or where to permanently
those
graze?
Are criminals. Those
are criminals.
And for me, when they told Buhari to declare them terrorists, he said no. After now, they didn't declare them.
Yeah.
Because for me, where they get the military uniforms? See, today, they will see them in full military regalia and everything. How did they get them? And if you call them now, what happened? No one of them has been. Have you seen anybody being prosecuted?
None.
No. And at the end, maybe they'll pardon them and go back. They'll go back and still go and do the same thing again. Today, the way people go and pay ransom, if you go to Kaduna State, that road from Keterin, people go to pay ransom in the market. That road become very. If any day you travel now, you have to pray. Let God take me and come bring me back. Now it has become not even in the north. It everywhere that you can't travel. Many people don't go by road again now. Many people don't go by road because of the banditry is there, and then the farmers
Herders clashes. Are there ever farmers herder clashes?
I don't think they are. They're just bandits. But for me, they are criminals.
But do you think we are better off now than the last 2 years?
We're still working. It's still work in progress.
In fact, I listened to Suli, the governor of Nasarawa State, because it was being accused that the people that came to Benue were from Nasarawa.
They even host them. They say they have a kind of a place where they host them.
Where they host them, exactly. But there's something he said, which he said that Governor Alias shared with him, information that he shared with him, that they heard that these people were coming from Cameroon towards that area. Sure. And if they are coming from there, there's one lecturer, Godwin Ona, told us.
He was here one time.
Exactly. He told us how these Fulani people send out help, come and help us because we are being overwhelmed here. So they come from a particular way. And they use bikes to come. And he said, if these people are coming, they must pass through checkpoints and other border. And there's no way that Nasarawa State, it has a border. It's a place they come through and hang in that place. The security people knew this thing. There was a security report a month before these people came. How come nobody does anything about this?
Well, I think sometimes if you look at it very critically, did you hear what General Danjuma said? That some years back, he said, this kind of crisis, the armed forces, particularly I quote him, he said, they facilitate their movement.
They're culpable.
They facilitate their movement. They cover them. And they collude with them. There are good soldiers.
What are their benefits?
Just to keep people and go.
No,
the armed forces. People that might be covering them.
Some people are making money out of that. Some people may be making money out of that.
On people's blood?
Sure. Does he care? Have you seen where somebody will say they didn't care, go and just destroy them? Have you seen when they were snatching ballot papers then those days? And they will carry it, anybody that may fire him and go. Did anything happen? So that's why sometimes when this politics, sometimes when I told you, is it really we're in democracy, we're in civil rule? Now you see, primarily in security, number one is intelligence. And I've asked again, why are the intelligence? Why intelligence gatherings? The DCSS is there, the NIA is there, the DIA is there, and others. Even within the police, we have security. Kind of intelligence. Didn't they give information? So sometimes maybe if you have a devil within your house, whereby you are the chief of that place, you know it's quite difficult for you to fight that war. So sometimes I give it to the armed forces on the rest. Sometimes, most likely, the head they are genuinely going out to fight this, but maybe they have some people that are inside that are already wounded, spoiled this thing. And when you have that kind of devil inside, you cannot make it. The people they killed those soldiers they killed last 2 weeks in is it Baga?
Niger.
No, there's one they killed along that. Is it Niger?
Yeah, it's Niger. Baga is in Niger.
So what happened? Anytime they ambush the Nigerian armed forces, that somebody must have given information.
Yeah.
If there's an ambush, anything, because my dad was a soldier, I will tell you that if there's an ambush, somebody must have told them that, look, these people are coming from that way, you come this way, and we are not many. then they will just go and meet you, and then at least they must prepare themselves, and then make sure that they finish all there.
Now we have intelligence within the military.
Sure.
Can't because I knew during military rule there was a lot of intelligence gathering to track everything that is coming from anywhere.
Sure.
Has that
External
gone?
forces, what is that?
Has it gone?
It should be there. It should be. Well, I wouldn't know much because since I'm not a soldier.
Yeah.
But I know, remember, if you meet a military man, they sit there.
Okay, so let's move
But
to...
if in any case everybody's being killed, that's why when they kill somebody, the frustration come on you. And if that's not right, you go look at what happened in the Yelwa. I mean, Yelwata. I mean, it was just that's the one that happened in Mango.
Yeah.
The one in Plateau State again. I mean, you can imagine how somebody will go and kill human life. Almost about 200 people, you just kill them. I mean, that is vicious.
Let's look at, because the military are supposed to protect what you call the external forces.
Yeah.
But there's the job of the police, which is internal. And you know, within us, there can be gathering of information within the police force. Now, that looked as if it has failed completely. That of the police force. Is it when we get state policing that this thing will work better? Or what we still have now, if we maintain it, they can be able to steal the tide?
Well, for me, if I will say something, the federal police are overwhelmed in most sincerely. And in terms of arms and ammunition, you could see that I don't think they are aware they have much equipment like that. Because when Jonathan was there, they wanted to go and buy arms. I remember that time. They frustrated him. Among the APC, most likely, that time they stopped him. They went and told, don't sell them because we want to come and kill us.
Yeah.
The only thing that will solve this problem now is either you have the state police, you have the local police, local government police, and then have the community police. Because they come to that Yelwata.
Yes.
If about 200 people in that community have arms, that won't have happened now.
It won't happen.
If in where they did in Plateau State last time, if you have about 200 people, 200 people have good arms, you know these people that come to, they understand the fear more than anybody. So they run away. By the time they fire this house, then there was a reporter listening from the other side. They will run away because they don't know. These people know those that are firing back. They know the community more than you. You don't know the community.
Yes.
By the time you find, no, let me go, because they know where to go and block and finish you. And that's the problem. So I think the government should look up into this sensitivity of, because since it has become a kind of become an unsecure nation, try to look at the issue of the community police, the local government police, and then the state police that are subnational. Because by the time you have this, if everybody have gone now, if all of us have license to have gone to travel, if I enter road, I can go by road to any place. Yes. By the time we meet them, they will know they're in trouble. Yes. They will come out. But of course, I don't think that's related to that, because
it's like in America now.
Yes,
even while they shoot anyhow, bringing that gun to block the highway is the easiest way to die.
Sure.
If you want to go to heaven, bring out just bring that gun that you want to block vehicles. Because the ones they have is more than the one you use. So
if I have this, I'm sure, because the thing has become so. I don't know whether we have because for me, I've seen that it's become the armed forces and this are overwhelmed.
But I have issues against state police.
Yes.
The issues is still the same issues I have with federal police. The federal police, or the police force that we have right now, is everything is about the whims and caprice of the president. The president nominates or appoints or the IG, who in turn answers to him, and he can fire the IG today.
Sure.
The power to hire and fire under the president is my problem, and it's still the same problem I have with state police. Will the governor be the one to bring in the head of the police force in the state, because he's the chief security officer of the state? So will the president, will the state governor use that police force to do a lot of harm to his enemy, or at the local government level, or at whatever level it is? The person that controls the employment or nomination of whoever becomes the head of the police at any given level should not be the person in authority. Those are the issues I have with the police. Do you think it's a valid point?
You're right. And that's why I said, if this thing comes, there must be sincerity of heart. And we should have as a patriot, we should be patriots. Look, this thing, let him go. Let me not use this thing to hunt somebody. Because most of the people are afraid that by the time you bring the state police, the governor might use it against me if I disagree with him. They will go and hunt me. But if genuinely we know that we are in a tight situation, security, very terrible situation. It's not even limited to the north, you know. If you go to the south,
the
southeast, the south,
a lot of farmers
everywhere.
there are unknown gunmen there. I remember my friend last year, he traveled he's from Imo State. He traveled from Orowori, he was going to one of the village community. He went with this small car, and they met a checkpoint, and then they asked him where he going. He said he's going to Susan. Say, why? What? And the guy is stammering. I said, what do you want to go and do there? He said, I'm going for a burial. Which burial? I said, why are you asking that kind of question? I didn't know that they were unknown gunmen.
Yes.
He said, come out. He said, come and do what? I said, come out. They beat him mastered. And they took the two of them, him and the driver, they put them inside the boot and drove for almost about 30 minutes. And when I put them inside the coffin. And there was no beating. And what saved him was because he said he has a mark at his back. By the time they opened it, he removed his clothes. When they lie down, they say, this one, you can't touch this one. No. Because of their own, they say, leave him. And then the driver was a baggy man. He said, he's a house man, let them kill him. He said, no, I'm not here. No. What's your name? My name is Jonathan. Then the man, one of the killers there said, he started to sing the song of Baggy, church song. And then this guy joined him in the sing. That was what saved them. So you can imagine this thing, that's why the security problem is not limited to any one place. And I believe that if the government should be, well, there should be sincerity, and then all of us should come together, close rank, and see how we can fight this thing. Because if we allow it to one person, and let us not play politics. APC play politics in this security, Jonathan, very well. You know, they used just to be saying he cannot even. When they say they would end up this Boko Haram in less than 2 months. Within 2 months, they say what when Buhari said. And the end of the whole of the 6-8 years, he couldn't even. It
expanded because when Buhari came in, the insecurity was only in Borno.
Yes, in Borno. But it has expanded. Yes. Now you can't go to Zamfara. They are complaining a lot. What did you do there? Some of them have fled out of their communities. It may be political is there because of the minerals they have. And other areas I want to see. So the issue is that all of us must come and see.
Okay, this was area I was also ready to talk to you. These issues of Zamfara having gold and illegal mining going on, I will have these reports that there are Chinese and all these foreigners coming in. Do you think our insecurity is being fueled and is being in some form sponsored by foreign interests who don't want peace in Nigeria?
Well, it's not impossible. Because in any case, if I want to get money, I want to get food there. And somebody said, let's make trouble there and get this. I'm sure it may not be far from it. The Minister of Defense is from Zamfara, State Defense. And he has been there for this thing for almost about 2 years now. And that problem still prevails. They have very senior military officers that retired there. I don't know, has he ever converged kind of security meeting with all of them? So if there's, and that's why I said the truth is that you cannot build on something that is bad. Because this has started for long. People are making money, are feeding out of it. And at the detriment of the masses, ordinary people. And honestly speaking, it's very wrong. I hope we think that one day we'll leave that. Because those things are transient.
Okay, if you are to hold government accountable now, and you agree that they have failed in insecurity, because if they didn't fail, everywhere will be secure, because that's their primary function. You know, of the primary function of any government is to secure lives and property. If I want to classify their failure into two broad spectrum, say one, insincerity, two, incapability. Do you think our governments have been insincere to solve this problem, or they have just not been capable to solve it?
Well, I can't say that. I don't think the president or the armed forces will say that they are not the primary. I mean, killing people every day, whether they like it. But I'm sure any day he has it, people have died in this thing. You don't sleep as a president. You will not sleep, most likely. Likewise, the army chiefs. But the insincerity is there on the basis that maybe the money they give to those people that work in the field, you send to them. Because you know some people maybe some within the armed forces or within the police force, some of them are making money, some of the big men are making money out of it. The allowances we give to people. If you ginger somebody very well, you get the best from it. Because I have a younger one that works there. Sometimes they complain that they don't give them the allowance. The junior officer.
The soldiers in the field.
Soldiers in the field. That they leave for sometimes. Yeah. Until when you begin to shout outside, they begin to come and say, okay, why will you be shouting? And that is the truth. You can't keep me in the bush. When you passed along that road, see the way they stay inside that bush, you pity them. Because your freedom is taken off. Apart from the phone call you do, and then most likely they join themselves because it's just like what Paul said. I've learned how to be in plenty. Some of them, when they are there in that bush, they still enjoy the bush because they get bush meat there.
Yeah.
They get.
You have to enjoy while walking.
Enjoy while walking. But when there's an ambush, but they still it's a risk. It's at risk. Your life is at risk. Yes. Maybe somebody will come and take you from external force that you don't know they will, and they will take you on. So those are the issues. My appeal to the government is that look, I know That since somebody you cannot see you want to fight him. Most like this, I have to be fair to everybody so that I don't be unfair. But in any case, convince a kind of a security distance, a very national security distance, and then let people speak their own mind and say, what is, how can you publish this situation? I saw the chief of defense staff when this happened in what's name in Benue. He was there. He slept there. Well, we didn't even, I'm sure he had the sincerity of heart to go ahead and publish it. But most likely, if there are if you are a leader, but people would like to frustrate from left, right, center. You must send money, they will not send on time, and then it becomes a problem. And they will list on each lies on the head where they come. So those are the things. So I think there should be sincerity, and then we should, Nigerians too, we should come together and say, look, we have made up our mind, we want to fight this insecurity, and see whether it work or it won't work. And then our government should be sincere, because the essence of governance is the primary responsibility is welfare and security. Now that things are expensive, you are buying this at this rate, you feel that the government is not even very responsible. If I'm going to buy food, the food I used to buy 20,000 naira, I will feed my tank. Now it's about 80,000 naira. I mean, then if I'm buying rice, I was about 80,000, 7,000, now it's about 100 something thousand. And then the electricity again is another problem. So that frustration on the side of Nigerians.
So we've done on insecurity. I want us to delve into the economy. Now, there's a statement you made prior to this time. You said the president has been consistent with I've removed subsidy, I've removed subsidy. Now, he hears our cry, he has removed subsidy. Do you think that's the best he could do? Because you supported him by saying consistency. Now, consistency on the wrong side or consistency, I'm not against him not removing subsidy. But there are other things, measures that you also have to take to make sure, because the major reason for removing this subsidy is that it has become a siphoning corruption tool a conduit pipe to which a lot of people siphon this money. But the one that you have now blocked, where is it becoming?
Personally, I didn't support that. I said it. I was just trying to make an example.
Okay.
But not that I supported what he did in the subsidy, because once he touched the oil, he touched everything. He touched every part. The economy, he touches you, he touches the food, he touches the clothes, everything. So for me, I didn't think I supported it, because and he has decided to make the governors become very rich, the subnationals. And the money is going to them. Between them and the people and God, have they brought this money down to the people to see it? Now, if you are going to remove subsidy, there must be substantial reinvestment. What is the reinvestment? What are the reinvestment? Now you remove it again and remove that for electricity. It becomes double threat to everybody. So for me, you would have managed this economy. You can still maintain, if you say there's a quantity pipe. I've said it several times. There's a quantity pipe. I'm the commander-in-chief. I will monitor that department.
That's right.
How it goes. I'll pay the money for it. And I know how many liters we consume. I'll know it. And I'll tell the GMD, if today this thing go beyond this, I'll hold you responsible. I'll hold you responsible, and you must pay for it. If anybody is taken to jail for that, everybody will sit up. Because today I can assure you, those who work in the oil, those big men, they are bastardly rich. Somebody else, if you go to this Amaitama, see the way those children use their car and then do a tire, they'll buy that tire and destroy it that very day. Where they get the money from? It's from their parents.
Yes.
And where the parents get the money
from? Where they are rough driving and doing all that.
Where they get money from? This same distance. So for me, I don't support
people are hungry.
Subsidy. I stand that, look, this thing, even though you remove it, you have decided to enrich the governors. At the end of the month, you find out that dollars become scarce. The moment they collect that fact, where's the money going to? It's there. So for me, he would have made. I have said it several times that if I'm the commander-in-chief, if I must remove that subsidy, I must know where I must move it. I must invest in that the refineries. Now that the Dangote is working, we're still having a bloated price of this. Why don't you go and decide Dangote? Give my people so amount of
exactly. We have said it here.
Give
We've said it there. Go to Dangote. Go to. You can count truck.
Yes,
this is not hidden. One truck loading. As a matter of fact, we recommended having remove NMPC. Hire a private sector.
Give it to him.
Sector that will count to check like audit firm sort of. Taking what comes out of Dangote to every distributor.
That will be my only job.
That's
my job. I will monitor it and know how much work. Then I'll make sure that
for your people.
A fortune more than 300 naira per liter.
That's what we said.
And then the other one, sell it out. We make our money there.
We said it here before. We prefer that solution that is simple. Now that it has been established that what we actually consume is less than what they were reporting. So it's easy. Go to Dangote, get a private set or an audit firm or control firm, counting. We can even count it, put camera.
Yes.
This truck, local distributor. This truck, major distributor. Each day, every day, they'll be balancing each day. And Nigerians can buy fuel at 300 naira.
Of course, they should.
Instead of give this money to governors.
But when you allow individuals to take over that money, they become very rich.
And
extremely rich.
Do you know there are two parts to this. Now you talk about the fuel going to neighboring states or neighboring countries.
Yeah.
Now these tankers are not this small.
No, we said it. You have military there.
These tankers are not this small. In fact, we don't only have military. We have custom. We have
immigration, DSS,
and NIA. They will have civil defense
at the border. And tanker will be divided.
Tanker that is.
But individual cannot pass through.
No, you can't pass through.
Just a human being cannot pass through. Tell them, showing your passport. But tanker will be diverted.
And this tanker cannot enter a bush.
How will they enter a bush? You see, the power of the president is too big when you go there. And when he enter there, he enjoy. Okay, Sebi, when he said he was coming, he give priority on what's the name of this? There's this language where isn't that under the this one they want to divide. They want to divide. Everybody should have his own grow from his own pace. Zone regional distance.
Okay, regional development.
There's something they call it. When he said he would do it, when he come into government, Buhari tried it.
Yeah.
But now when he came, he kept quiet. He's not saying anything. He said like you want to distance the economy first.
No, there are things he talked about. Restructuring. He said there's going to be restructuring.
Now he has kept quiet. Now he said he wanted to restructure the economy first.
State police, yes. Autonomy of local government, and restructuring. Which one has he done?
He said he's going to. I listened to one of the elders yesterday when he was talking on his book. He said when he had an interview, he said what he's doing is he's trying to restructure the economy, the economy first. That's why he has brought this tax bill to make sure that everything works. I said, there's no way you enter that seat as a president. You want to have a division because you are too powerful. You are too powerful. If he enters, he's coming to weigh now. They'll block the whole of this for the next 1 hour. Nobody will pass.
No, what's 1 hour? If he's coming to Uyena, they'll block it 2 hours before he comes.
And when he comes stay there, nobody passes again. So you see, that's why I said, for me, it's not democracy. It's a kind of civil system. When Jonathan was there as a president, they don't do that.
No.
He went to Transcorp several times. They wrote that open. It's only inside Transcorp that they barricade where you cannot. That's where the systems are everywhere. But so, I think sometimes when you want to, it's good to preach out when you're outside. When you are there, you carry the powers and you put it on the side. So if you say the kind of subsidy you have removed, we see your lifestyle is not too good for us. Look at the aircraft they use. Look at the kind of motive. You can see most of the permanent secretary that they gave them this new 70th anniversary of not less than 300 million.
Yes.
Each pump site.
Yes.
And then you are telling us that we are seeing it, they say we should not talk. No.
You are telling us to calm down.
No. It's
okay,
unfair
now,
to us. It's
you
unfair
talked
to us.
about removing the subsidy and being consistent with it.
Yes.
You talked about electricity
bill
increasing, even communication bill increasing.
Most likely.
But the people who are paying for this, their disposable income have not increased by any means.
Absolutely.
The ability to produce, which stems from infrastructure created, an enabling environment created by the government. Because social infrastructure and enabling environment, people don't think about that. Because with the pressure you put on small businesses,
it's too high.
Both in tax, registration, and all that, do this, do that. They'll tell you there's money in BOI. Yeah. I have experience of applying to Bank of Industry for
loan.
There's no you finish all the procedure. Their consultant will collect the little one you have, and you see no loan. So you understand? So why is it that the president won't consider these things, ability of the people to produce, support people's ability to produce before thinking of taxing them? You can't tax nothing.
Of course not. Well, I think that's why I said still. The government does not even know when they came into power. They wanted to take power by force. And they have so many advisors. And those advisors, everybody wants to make his own money. Because once you're in government, you want to make something and go. If we make you the SDF day, most likely your people clap, everybody will celebrate you. Everybody come to us, thank you very much. And they will say, oh God, so what is on?
Thanksgiving.
And then from there, you begin to, okay, I say I want to survive. If you don't have a house in Abuja, you go and get a house immediately and build it. Maybe in the next 1 year, less than 1 year, you have a house and build it. Where did you get the money? Well, that's actually now, if you look at the kind of deduction that banks do for us today, you wonder excessive deduction. You take 3,000, 2,000, this and that.
No, not even that. Beyond even the monthly charges they do, every transaction that you do, that you remove from your bank, there's a deduction.
Sure.
50 naira, 100 naira, 150,
naira.
as the case may be.
Sometimes I saw they just gave me almost about 3,000 naira. I said, and you can't question anybody.
That one is even at the end of the month. If you don't have, you have a
Daily.
zero,
Daily.
you have a 0 naira in your account, and somebody sends in 10,000 naira,
You can't
you will
remove
see
them.
10,000 naira. You will see 9,950 naira. 50 kobo is removed already. Exactly. You know,
And that is going to pay VAT on it.
you pay exactly.
So, but I have asked, why am I paying VAT and the VAT that does not protect
I
me?
didn't produce nothing. Somebody just sent me
In
money.
the community where I stay, we were the one that excavated and got the root.
Yeah.
We bought all the this thing, what's the name, the poles,
Yeah.
and went and bought the cables and took light to
Our community.
our
Yes.
And then we bought a transformer again, and then invited NEPA, and NEPA charge us, or NEPA or whatever, NEPA, well, it's more common.
ADC.
They charge you for installation, and but after they install it, then it now becomes government property.
Exactly.
So you can imagine how injustice of some of us. I don't know whether they.
Now, you know, at your level or the community where
and
you
then
live.
again they will pay charge, and then you buy meter again. They come and install and pay you. Sometimes after 1 month, they'll come and say that they'll come and slam me one charge and say there was a money inside that meter. Come to Kodam. And I wonder sometimes.
Now you call this injustice at your level, and probably people who are well to do, you know, they are able to organize themselves and put all this things together. When this kind of injustice is melted at people in the village, you know, there's something called rural poverty. It has increased.
Yes.
You know, when this kind of injustice is melted at the people in the village, don't you think that is where some of this crime we are looking at is also they are bandits able to recruit members successfully, and this is not ending. What is government doing to reduce poverty such that at the tail end of insecurity, which is the recruitment into all these bodies, bandits, kidnappers, they will begin to find it difficult, because a young man who went to work today and can fend for himself might not be too attracted into a venture where he might get money, but he could be killed or could also be jailed. Even though we don't jail criminals in Nigeria anymore, we're actually jailing more of innocent people than criminals.
Well, that's why I said, I'm just saying that government is not. There's a lot of insincerity from government part, and there's a lot of that corruption is so high that on the basis that everybody wants to enrich himself. There's a street where some of my boss live. I've seen one of somebody in Nigeria. So one of the big men in Nigeria, someone lived there. They brought detachment of police of not less than four points, an individual. Now, if the village, the poverty has gone high, because I know every day now, there's call from the village community, every day call, everybody needs this, everybody needs it. How will you survive this, you alone? And you give them, and at the end, when the mind is quite idle, it becomes a very terrible workshop for the devil. If they say they invite, of course they will collude. Like today, I can't stay in my community for the past 3 years. I have never tried it in my community. When I go to village, I have a big house there. But for my safety, if I come
Demands,
out,
yes.
For my safety, I have to go and sleep in a place where I'll be safe.
Yes.
If you go there, because one of my cousins went and stayed in the village, slept there for 1 week. One day they came and picked him up.
Yes.
He paid about 30 million ransom. Now they will say that you don't need to pay ransom. Why would you pay ransom? By the time they took you there, and we're in a terrible situation,
you pay
a lot of beating and the rest. You have no choice. As at during the Buhari regime, those people that they kidnapped from this trains, this and that they took them, they spent, someone else spent 4 months, and they paid 100 million. I understand somebody went to negotiate with the bandit inside their camp. Who was that person? And they allowed him. If today they said, I want to negotiate with bandits, I believe that bandits are criminals. Yes. And then somebody went again, as a clean person, say, I went to meet them. I met them, we had a meeting with them. No, sometimes.
No, that of Buhari was really particularly, specifically the way he was working with Gumi.
No, he was an enabler.
For the fact that Gumi was not questioned. You know, somebody will go and meet the bandits and come and an army is looking for the bandits. I mean, it couldn't add up.
You've seen a situation where I will pass an army checkpoint now.
We have left him with God on those
even today, you pass a checkpoint, military checkpoint, and then in less than 1 kilometer,
there's another checkpoint.
The bandit will carry you.
Okay, all right. A lot of time is fast. Gone. But I want us to touch just quickly, very quickly, on the legislative part of government. Now, we normally say they are the one that preserve democracy. This particular 10th assembly, they've not preserved democracy. Now, there was issues in Rivers. An administrator was sent there. I should have thought that my thinking or that Fubara shouldn't have left his position. He should have stayed there and begin to argue with it, so that we know whether he will forcefully go and be removed in a coup or whatever. Then the National Assembly came in. They tried to rectify it by vote. At a particular time right now, one section of this country, even though peace is coming gradually, is under military rule. These preservers of democracy kept quiet, and they are looking enablers of this despotic rule. What do you have to say?
Well, I think these preservers, as they call them preservers,
Yes.
they celebrated it. Not that they celebrate what happened. They celebrated. They applauded the president that he did well.
Yes.
We must not allow this kind of this
For being proactive.
And I asked, for God's sake, I spoke to somebody say sections. I said, what section said that? I'm not a lawyer, but I know clearly that there's no way somebody who is elected in the same manner that the president was elected, the president will go and suspend him. It is absolutely not it's a pure aberration. For me, it's a pure aberration.
Yes,
and
that's right.
it shouldn't be acceptable. And it was lucky that maybe Rivers kept quiet.
Yeah.
If it were another state, no,
Exactly.
it won't
That's
happen.
what we said.
You know who said
It won't happen. Why will he enter? We bring
Where did you get the power from?
we got to have two governors. We have the distance and the governor. And then who? And that one, at that emergency, all of us will be in emergency.
Exactly.
Because there won't be anything.
They'll see the emergency they are looking for.
The emergency will be
And it's just unfortunate that you are trying to listen to one person who is feeding with that information. Look, the truth is that Rivers State is quite different from other states. Rivers State, at least, it's a political state because the last side. But if you go to other state, they are like Abuja is a cosmopolitan state.
Yeah.
You cannot come and dominate the just
No.
because by the time they vote, I don't even know you are going to vote because I vote and I vote based on who I want to vote.
Yes.
And nothing will happen.
Ishaya, do you know the same thing was about happening in Lagos when Tinubu was president, when governor?
Yeah.
He said if this Obasanjo tried to bring emergency to Lagos, then Lagos will burn.
Yeah, and then what happened now with him?
Excuse me.
What happened? What suddenly came upon him? That he changed his mind to go and do that kind of illegality.
What do you say?
And who told them that section 305 that talked about declaration of state of emergency means removal of governor? Constitution was very clear on how governor can be removed.
Yes.
Death, impeachment.
Specified.
Yes. Impeachment or this thing, yeah, impeachment. And he was not impeached. He was
He was not impeached.
Why did he allow him to go and be impeached? Because I knew clearly that he knew it wouldn't have worked.
Yes.
Because the Chief Justice was with the governor.
Yes.
And the Chief Justice must constitute that
Panel.
that panel. Whereby he does not, who constitute? Is it the head of state, the president of going to constitute the National Assembly? Or the Chief Justice of the Federation? I don't know whether that's what the law says. So I think the National Assembly, too, honestly speaking, they should be, for now, I don't think I'm impressed with what they're doing.
All right, we can't go further than this, but I want your takeaway. Pat Stomy was here last week, and my friend asked him, are we giving up on Nigeria? He said something, but I want to ask you that same question. Nigeria.
Let me quote Adams Oshomole. He said sometimes that, look, this Nigeria, we'll be here in Nigeria, we're part of the problem, we're part of the solution.
Amen.
Amen.
So there's no way we leave Nigeria.
Okay.
To go to where?
Okay. So I take that away.
Yeah.
Almost similar to what
I'm hopeful.
Patutomi said. Yes. It's been voting arena with
Ishaya Yakubu.
Yakubu Ishaya. I can't miss the name. All right. It's been very interesting. Thank you for coming. And for Kingsley Okafor, thank you. Always thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
Thank you for
Next time,
pleasure.
voting arena. Thank you.
Okay.